Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the New Year 2024. It's a great year. This is the first X space of this year. And guess what? Um, a cup of we purpose to start on time regardless of who is on the call and who is not. Will start on time and finish on time. So a couple of housekeeping rules. Please share the link with as many people as possible and get the word out to those that need to join in. Maybe they are seated somewhere in a taxi going home. Others are in their car going home. Others are at home listening to this. Just send out the link. And then the hashtag for today is stop procrastination. Okay. Procrastination is one word. If you need the spelling of procrastination, it is Procrastination. Or to keep it short, you can say procrasti, then nation, then the word nation. Okay, so the hashtag is stop procrastination, and my name is Kaka Sudesh. I'm the team leader at Sudesh International Consult, where we help forward-thinking leaders create clarity and find fulfillment through innovation. All right, so our topic today is how to achieve extreme productivity by uncovering hidden procrastination. And so what you can expect on this call is number one, to uncover hidden procrastination, and then I'll be sharing strategies for high productivity, and then I'll give you a model that you can share and teach with others who struggle with procrastination. So why this topic, and why at this point? So recently, about I think last week I celebrated my birthday, and I was just thinking over my life. Someone actually asked me a day after at work, what's that one thing that you've learned over your period of existence in life? And one thing I shared with them is that one thing that I've learned in life is that activity is not productivity, and sometimes people can look like they are busy, but in actual sense they're actually procrastinating. So I told them that be on the lookout for hidden procrastination. That was my lesson for my birthday. That is something, and I thought I would share with you the things that I've been meditating about ever since my birthday, and how hidden procrastination can eat you up, and how to prevent yourself from being a culprit of this killer of hardworking people. Right? So, before we continue, a word from our sponsors. And our sponsors are Velocity Experience. Velocity Experience is a platform for forward-thinking entrepreneurs who are looking at achieving and optimizing productivity in their different industries. And based on that, there is a breakfast on. There's a breakfast. It's coming up on the 27th. Yeah, it will be on the 27th of January, and the venue is going to be Fairway Hotel, and the topic for this particular one is going to be how to create how you can get momentum. Yeah, so the topic is going to be how you can build momentum for personal productivity. And because most people at the beginning of the year, they set a goal: I'm going to build, I'm going to buy a car, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go back to school, and in the end they never do that stuff. So it is important for us to start the year on that note. So please, it is a breakfast. It's only 100,000, or an equivalent of $30. It starts from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Fairway Hotel and Spa in Kampala, Uganda, 27th January 2024, Saturday. That is the date for the Velocity Experience breakfast. A link will be shared for you to sign up. All right, so back to our topic. back to our topic. So, I'll first give you a couple of statistics, and these are from Zapier, an HR consultancy firm that did studies on thousands of people. And the first question that they asked is, why do adults procrastinate? Yeah, why do adults procrastinate? Maybe before I even get into giving you the statistics and everything, I think I first need to define what procrastination is. So, there are two kinds of procrastination. The first type of procrastination is what we call passive procrastination. Passive procrastination is what kind of everyone knows, and the classic "I'll do it later" type of procrastination. Nothing productive will get done while someone is passively procrastinating. Yeah. So that is one type of procrastination. The other type of procrastination is what we call active procrastination. Active procrastination is putting off one task by doing a different productive task instead. Though you're getting something done, you're still avoiding the first task. Let's say you are supposed to be writing a proposal, but instead you're drinking coffee with your friend. Drinking coffee with your friend is not a bad thing, but for that time where you're supposed to be doing something else, yeah, you're actually actively procrastinating during that time. So again, let me recap. There's the passive procrastination, which is where you just black out. You don't do anything and things wait on you. Okay, you're supposed to cook and you just sit there and you don't cook, and the food doesn't get cooked. That is passive procrastination. Active procrastination is where you're actually so busy, but you're doing other things instead of doing the things that you purpose to do. Okay, you intended out to go and do something else and you end up doing something else. That is active procrastination, and that is the one that kills most people, because most people do not have regret because they are not hardworking. No, they wake up, they go to work, and they wait, they will go and leave, and the year will end, and when they look back over what they have done over in 1 year, there is nothing to report home about. Okay, now for you to know whether you're suffering from procrastination, just look at the year 2023, and if you looked at the end of that year and there was that gut feeling of, wait a minute, I should have done more, I could have done more, there's this thing I wanted to do, I know I should have done this, I should have done this, at least I should have started this, I should have started this. If there's that feeling of there's more that I could have done and it was within my means to do it, but I did not do it, and now I'm feeling sad. If you felt like that at the end of the year, guess what? You are someone that suffers from what we call active procrastination, which is putting off one task by doing a different productive task. That doesn't mean that you did not do certain things during the year 2023. You did them, but you did not do the important things. And that is why at the end of the year, you felt the sadness. You did not feel the excitement as people were celebrating and saying, Happy New Year. You're thinking, oh man, oh God, I could have done so much more. So those are the two types of procrastination: active and passive. Now I want to concentrate more about on the passive side of things. So I mean on the active procrastination, where you're supposed to be doing something and you're doing something else. Now going back to our statistics, Zapier, a consultancy firm that measures in people, did studies, and they found out that they asked adults, why do you procrastinate? And 41% of them said, I lack motivation. I want to start that company, but I lack motivation. I want to go back to school, but I lack that motivation. I want to elevate my career, apply for that job, start a family, but I lack the motivation. 41% of them say they lack motivation. 25% of them say they lack time. I'm into the coaching business, and you go to different industries, and I've talked to lawyers, auditors, engineers, doctors, name them, all these guys, and everyone will tell you, oh, my career is so busy. You have no idea what it means to be a doctor. You have no idea what it means to be a banker. I don't have time to go to church. I don't have time to be with my family. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to write. I don't have time to do this. So those are 25%. And then the other batch of people, which is 24%, they say, I just lack urgency. I don't feel like it's something that I need to do. And then there are those who say, the rest said, you know what, I don't understand it, so I will put it on hold. I'm not going to do it. So, and then now, getting to still with the statistics, the gender. Okay, so, and by gender here, I'm just talking about two genders. These days there are too many genders, but I'm talking about two genders, the men and the women, the male and the female. Okay, one gender procrastinates more than the other. Guess what that gender is? Guess what that gender is? Okay, if you go to the comment section, guess. Is it women or men that procrastinate more? I'll give you a couple of seconds and I'll see those that are right and those that are wrong. Okay? So, guess what? 46% of all women are chronic procrastinators. 46% of all women are chronic procrastinators. But wait till you hear the men. 54% of all men are chronic procrastinators. That means that the men are 17% more procrastinators than women. That means that women have more motivation. They have a better use of their time. They have a sense of urgency. They seek understanding. And for such, 46% is actually high. But at least, ladies and gentlemen, the women are less of procrastinators than men. Men are more procrastinators, okay? Men, I'm speaking to you, I'm also speaking to myself. We tend to put off things. I'll do that, and things never come to pass. So, again, that is on the part of the gender. I'm still giving you statistics. And then when we get to the age range, which age range of adults has the highest number of procrastinators? Again, guess. Yeah. Guess. Is it from 20 to 30? Is it from 31 to 40? Is it from 41 to 50? Is it from 60 and above? Guess. I'll wait for you. I'll give you a couple of seconds as I am waiting. Guess the age range that has the biggest number of procrastinators. Oh yeah, I knew you would get it right. Yeah, the age range between 14 to 29. Those are the chronic procrastinators. People that are between 14 to 29 has the highest number of procrastinators according to a research that was done by Zipia. And I'm guessing between 14 to 29, you think I'm young, I have a lot of time, and so you procrastinate. A person in their 50s does not have time to procrastinate. 60s, they don't have time. 40s, they don't have time. 30s, they don't have time. So, between 14 to 29, those are the chronic procrastinators. And as people are procrastinating, I mean adults, okay? And remember, I'm talking about active procrastination, where you put off one task by doing a different task instead. So, when people are procrastinating, the question is, what do they do? Okay? And they do a couple of things. Number one, the majority of them watch TV or movies or series. Then they engage in social media. Others sleep. Some people sleep a lot. Some people sleep a lot, and then others just get on phone calls. Others spend so much time with friends. Spending time with friends is not bad, but there's when everything is right when you do it in moderation. Others spend time playing games. Men spend a lot of time procrastinating by playing games. You'll be shocked that the gaming industry is incredibly bigger than the movie industry. And who is the biggest buyer of those games? Men. Are you surprised that 54% of them are chronic procrastinators? No. Okay. And then the others procrastinate by reading. Okay. They go into analysis paralysis. You want to build a house. Why are you studying 200 books about building a house? You want to get married. Why are you reading 79 books about getting married? Like, okay, it's good to have knowledge, but you have to have it in moderation. And then women also spend a lot of time procrastinating by shopping, saying, oh, today I feel bad, I'm not going to do it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go out and shop. Yeah, there are those that do that. Okay, so thus far we've looked at what procrastination is, and I've differentiated between the two types of procrastination, active and passive. And then I've given you the statistics from Zapier about why adults procrastinate, the gender that mostly procrastinates, the age range, and what people do when they're procrastinating. Now, let's look at a couple of effects of procrastination. The first one is procrastinators. The first effect of procrastination is that you feel depression. Procrastinators are likely to sleep poorly, feel anxious, which can contribute to feeling depression. Okay, so just imagine you're not sleeping well for a couple of nights, and then you couple that with anxiety because there are things that that you should be doing that you're not doing, and then that builds into depression. Ecclesiastes 15:12 in the Message version of the Bible, it says that hard and honest work earns a good night's sleep, whether supper is steak or beans. Sudesh, is that in the Bible? It's actually there. Ecclesiastes 15:12. So, one of the effects of procrastination is actually depression and or anxiety. Another effect of depression is sadness. Did you know that 94% of the people feel unhappy about procrastination? Okay. Case in point. So I'm having a conversation with my mom. My mom passed away in 2021. Yeah, 2021. But years before that, about 10 years before that, I'm having a conversation with her, and she's talking to me. At that time, I've just started Sudesh International. No, actually, it had been in existence for a few years. But she's talking, and then she pauses, and she tells me, you know what? I really admire you. And I'm thinking, huh? My mom admires me? Why do you admire me? And then she goes ahead and says, you do something that you really love. I wish when I was younger, I had the audacity to live life on my own terms and do something that I really wanted. I could have been an actress. I could have been all these things that I wanted. Now, as she wasn't so sad, but there was that thing inside her feeling like of frustrated potential, knowing that I could have done much more, but I did not do it. And so because of that, she there were so many reasons that of course she gave herself. I have children, so I cannot pursue whatever I want to do. Right now, what matters is getting the money, and then you get the money, and then but you know what? A good paying job is most important, and then you get it, you get the money, and at the end of the day, something is still missing. Okay, so that is something. The effect of procrastination is actually sadness. Which reminds me, this other time, I'm going out looking for business, and I meet one of the executives. He did not give me business, but as I'm leaving, he tells me, "You have a minute?" I say, "Yeah," and I'm thinking, "Dude, you've not given me the business. What do you want to talk about?" He says, "Have a seat," and he says, "Hey, look at me. I he tells me, 'Hey, Sudesh, look at me. I'm I'm about 62, 63 years old. My children have finished school. I've been married for over 35 years. I'm happy. I have lots of properties. My wife and I drive our own cars. We are comfortable. Our children have gone to the best schools. I go to church just like you, and I love God. But you know what? I regret something." And he told me, "Suresh, guess what? Today is my last day on this job. And as I'm leaving and thinking, if I'd gone back 20 years ago, is when I should have left. I should have left to start a business that I so desired. I should have left to start that farm that I so desired. But here I am at 62. I'm leaving 20 years later. I've overstayed my welcome here, and I'm leaving, but I'm sad. My wife is happy because we're going to get to spend so much time together now that I'm retired, but I'm sad. Why? I procrastinated. Was I idle? No. I showed up every day. I rose through the corporate ranks. I became a manager. I've been the CEO of this company. I'm walking out with gratuity. I have lots of money, but I'm sad. Ladies and gentlemen, there lies a man who had actively procrastinated. He had put off pursuing his dream of starting a farm by having a 9-to-5 job. And now his productive years had long gone by, and this is when he was starting to step up. And he was thinking about it. And, he never gave me business, but I left. And, every time I wanted to quit, I was thinking to myself, wait a minute. Remember what that guy told you? Remember the sadness that he feels? Now is not the time for you to quit. Right now is the time for you to go on and pursue your dream. Okay? So, procrastinators likely feel depression, they feel sadness, they feel low self-esteem. They feel overwhelmed. They have that sense of perfectionism, and then they fear failure. Okay, they fear failure. So all these are effects of procrastination. All right. Now, before I share with you some strategies, I want to ask you a couple of things. Please go ahead and provide questions that you want to ask at the end of this, as I'll be finishing up. And please, I want to also remind you that our sponsors of the Velocity Experience podcast have a breakfast on the 27th of January at Fairway Hotel, and the subject is going to be how to build momentum for personal productivity. Again, like I talked about procrastination, 41% of the people that procrastinate actually confess to lack motivation. But they lack motivation. They think they lack motivation, and because of that, they do not have a sense of urgency. And because they do not have a sense of urgency, they cannot build momentum. So I want you to join me as I'll be giving you tools, and I'll be sharing a system that has worked with us, that has helped us to double our income for the five or 4 years on straight. Okay. The subject, remember, is going to be building momentum for personal productivity. It's going to be a Velocity Experience monthly breakfast. The ticket is 100,000. You get a link and where you can go and subscribe and pay. It's limited space, so please hurry. Remember, the date is 27th January 2024, starting 8 to 11. Venue is Fairway Hotel, Spa and Hotel and Spa in Kampala. Places are limited, so please hurry because they are filling up quite fast. And when they fill up, we'll stop. Okay? So that is the word from our sponsor. Now, let's continue. So what are you're thinking? Okay, Suresh, you've told us about these strategies. You've told us about how this affects me as a person, and you've told us all these nice things. Not so nice things, actually. Now, how do I fix it? How do I fix if I'm a procrastinator? How do I fix it? Okay. So here is where you get your pen and paper, because this is going to be absolutely practical, because that's how you fix procrastination. Okay. The first strategy for if you're a chronic procrastinator, you know there are people that put off one thing but then they recover and get it. But if you're a chronic procrastinator, like you fear, you want to start something, then things accumulate, and then you have a lot of backlog and then workload. Here are some strategies for you to help you as to take you away from being a procrastinator and make you a person that builds momentum and gets things done. Okay, the first strategy is GTD. I call it GTD. GTD stands, G is actually for God, T is for Tanzania, and D is for Dar es Salaam. Yeah, so the first strategy is GTD. GTD stands for getting things done. Getting things done. Okay. Have you encountered a place where you look at the projects and you're thinking, where do I start from? I want to build a 4-story building. Where do I even start from? Do I get an architect first? Do I grade the land? Wait a minute. Do I get the licenses? Oh my God. How about the bills of quantities? What comes first? Do I talk to the contractor? And no. Do I first say prayer? Do I first talk to my spouse? Do I first talk to Jaja Mwanga? Where do you start from? All right. So getting things done means that the first step is, and I want you to get a fresh sheet of paper. Either you open a note pad on your phone. This is how it works out. Okay, so I want you to write every project that you plan on doing in the next 90 days. That's up to March. Okay, so I want you to write down everything, and that project could be registering for school. Anything. A project is anything that has more than one activity. Okay, taking back children to school is a project, because if they are going to a new school, you have to get them uniform, you have to pay fees, you have to call that doctor to schedule their checkups and things like that. So taking children back to school is a project. If you're going back to school, that is a project. If you want to build a house, that's a project. If you're starting a business, that's a project. So take some time and write projects. Okay, even if you're going on holiday, that's a project, because it has more than one activity. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to write down all the projects that you're going to do between now and the 31st of March 2024. Okay, so take some time, write down. Okay, make sure you put everything, exhaust everything. Just make sure you exhaust everything. Remember, an average person has about 40 projects. So if it's not 40, keep writing. I'll be here to wait for you. Keep writing. You're doing well. All right. Now that you have the list of projects that you're going to do up to 31st March, I want you to write the tasks against them. Okay, and this might take some time. Okay, just choose out one or two, and then it will show you the rest. You can do after the podcast, but just choose one or two, like taking children back to school. You can put things against them. Okay, like I just shared. Yeah, if it's starting a business, finding a business name, doing this, finding a lawyer, da 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 da. So you go ahead and write the tasks. Okay. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that. Make sure you write exhaust the number of things that you write. All right. Okay. Okay, after writing that, remember the first strategy is getting things done, and I've broken it down. You first write the projects, and after you've written the projects, then you write the tasks against the projects. Okay, so each project has more than one task. After you've written that, then look out for the ones that have more than tick. I want you to get either a highlighter, or if you're noting it using your if you're using your phone, either but phones have highlighters depending on the phone that you have, especially if you have iPhone. Oh, so highlight the tasks under the projects. So highlight the tasks that take 3 or less minutes. Okay, now this is what I want you to do. The tasks that you've highlighted that take less than 3 minutes, the moment we go off the podcast like this, I want you to do them. And those will include things like send an email to so and so, call so and so, do this, book this, things that are going to take you less than 3 minutes. You do them immediately. That's how you build momentum. That's how you build productivity. All right. And then after you've done that, then I want you to look at the rest of the things that take more than 3 minutes. Okay. And for those that take more than 3 minutes, I want you to block a time in your calendar. Are you going to do them tomorrow at 11? Now, I have so many things that I do. And when I was doing an evaluation of myself last year, I found out that I procrastinated a lot on this thing called business development. So as a habit, as a habit at the start of this year, and this is what I plan on doing for the rest of the year, I block out 1 hour, and it's usually between 11 to midday, when I get on the pipeline, feel it, call people, sell our products, do this, do that. And because of that, it's giving me a lot of confidence, because every day I'm selling something. Every day I'm contacting that customer. I'm welcoming them and telling them, hey, welcome back. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. We are glad to do business with you. Thanks so much for last year. You contributed to our success. We treasure you. Things like that. Okay. So block a time for doing those things. And the ones that you cannot do, if you're a leader, delegate. If you cannot do them, abandon them. Okay. So that is how the getting things done strategy works. Okay. First, you write down the projects, then you write the tasks under them, and then you highlight the ones that need less than 3 minutes. And after that, you block off a time to do the tasks that you can do, okay, between now and the 31st of March. Those that you cannot do, you can prolong them, or delegate, or abandon. Okay. The second task is what I just talked about, blocking time. You learn to block out time for different things that you do. Okay, learn to block out the time. And then the third strategy is to build mental toughness. Like I said, most people that procrastinate and actively procrastinate, like I just shared with you, like this gentleman who stayed on the job 20 years later, and yet he should have been there working on his farm. What kept him there is the fear of failure. Most people fear to fail, okay? And they fear to fail because in the past, maybe they tried to start a kiosk and it did not work out so well, and they're feeling bad at the end of the day, okay? And sometimes when they feel bad, then the feelings come up, and they feel like, man, I cannot go because I know what failure means. So rather than try, I'd rather just sit here and do what is comfortable. After all, someone is giving me a desk. They're giving me some money, and that's it. No, that cannot work. Okay, so block a time for doing those things. Okay, so the third strategy is to build mental toughness. Like I said, most people that procrastinate and actively procrastinate, they fear to fail. Okay, and they fear to fail because in the past, maybe they tried to start a kiosk and it did not work out so well, and they're feeling bad at the end of the day. Okay, and sometimes when they feel bad, then the feelings come up, and they feel like, man, I cannot go because I know what failure means. So rather than try, I'd rather just sit here and do what is comfortable. After all, someone is giving me a desk. They're giving me some money, and that's it. No, that cannot work. Okay, so mental toughness demands that you take an introspective look at yourself. Again, I want you to go back to your journal, to whether it's on a phone or a paper, and we're going to address this fear, okay? And I want you to answer this question. When you were growing up, between your father and mother, who did you want to impress the most? We are addressing fear right now. If you do not grow up with a father and mother, the people that you lived with, whether an uncle or an auntie or a guardian, who did you want to impress the most? Was it your brother? Was it your cousin? Who did you want to impress the most? Okay? And why did you want to impress the most? What was going on here? What were you looking for? Okay? When you impressed them, what did you get? And usually, to someone that is fearful and has procrastinated for a long time and has put off things, they cannot get an answer to that question. Okay? They will answer the first one where they'll say, I think I wanted to impress my dad so much. And then when you ask the second question, why did you want to impress your dad so much? What did it give you in the end? It made me happy. Okay, it made you happy. And then what? I don't know. I just found myself happy. Okay, so whoever you wanted to impress, okay, whoever you wanted to impress, the way things work is that we always try to find things that we lack in life. So a person that wanted to impress their father so much, you find that maybe that father was not a stay-home father, or he was always gone and he was never home with the children, and so children desire what is not there. Okay, so I want you to take an introspective look at yourself, and whoever you wanted to impress, you were feeling a need. And I've shared these 6 needs before. One of them is certainty or security. Okay, maybe when you impress them, it gave you security. The second need that you could have been looking for is variety. Maybe when you impress them, they bought you chocolate, they bought you this, and that gave you a feeling of variety. Or when you impressed them, you felt loved because they gave you a hug. Or when you impressed them, you felt appreciated. Or when you impressed them, they told you, oh, you're growing, and you felt that sense of accomplishment of I'm making progress. Or it made you feel like you're giving back. Okay, so it could be either a sense of security, variety, love, appreciation, growth, or giving. Okay, so whoever you were impressing while you're growing up, okay, that made you forego the things that you wanted to forego, it could have been any of these needs that you're trying to fill. Now, when you uncover what you're trying to fill, let's say you are looking for a sense of security, you may find that looking for a sense of security has led you to stay on a job longer than you should have stayed. Most people overstay on their jobs, by the way. I have a whole podcast about when to quit your job. Okay, please go back, and I'll ask one of the guys on the team to look for it and share it on the timeline. So now that you know that fear, you are placing a demand on any of these 6. Yeah, here's what I want you to do. I want you to ask yourself, what can I do positively to fill the need for security? Business will give you a need. If you build a business right now, it might take you some time, but you build security over time. Okay, so replace the negative things with the positive stuff. Okay, so those are 3 strategies. Get things done, block time, and then develop mental toughness by addressing what you fear and actually having an introspective look of who am I? And when I was growing up, who did I want to impress? Why did I want to impress them? What need was I feeling? How can I replace that need with something that is going to give me momentum, something that is going to push me? Okay, so those are 3 strategies. The other strategies that I can share is, please focus on the results and not the hours. I've already said that activity is not productivity. Okay, I don't focus on how many hours I work. I focus on the productivity. What are my wins today? What are my priorities today? How far have I gone to actually fulfill the priorities that I set for today? Have I done 80%? Yes, I pat myself. I give myself a pat on the back. I go home. I tell my wife, yes, I did this. I'm happy about it. We celebrate, and you move. Okay. The other strategy, apart from focusing on the results and not the hours, touch something once. I touch something once. If I look at an email and I'm not able to do it, I either delegate it to the team, or I abandon it, or I delete it, or I look at it some other time. Okay, so that is how you deal with that is how you achieve extreme productivity, by uncovering hidden procrastination. So as I end this, I'm about to take one or two questions, and then would have come to the end of our podcast today. I want to remind you about our upcoming Velocity Experience, a breakfast that is happening on the 27th of January 2024 at Fairway Hotel and Spa, starting at 8 to 11. So we use the first hour to have breakfast, and then I get to share a system that helps you to build momentum, so that you cut through the procrastination, and come end of year you get to achieve all the nice things that you wanted to achieve. And guess what? I have a surprise for everyone, but I'll be sharing. You will have a tracker to track, and our coaches will touch base with you during the course of the quarter to make sure that you are achieving what you set out to achieve. All right, so I'll take one or two questions, and then we'll come to the end of this. Yeah. All right. So the first question, this one is saying, let me read this properly. How can I focus on results and not hours, yet my job demands me to be there from 8? All right. This is a nice question. Guess what? Most of the jobs that are designed, they're designed in such a way that they like to see your face time. Yeah. So they give you a time. They give you a time to show up like 8 a.m. Why? Because they know if they let you just to work anyhow, some of you are not mature enough to actually work remotely and get the work done. So they will put there an hour. But studies have been done, and they show that while you work 8 days in a day, 4 of those hours are actually the active hours. The rest of the time, you're chitty-chatting, you're taking coffee, you're calling home, you're walking in the corridors, you go out for lunch, you do 2 hours for lunch, you do this, yeah. So if you're that kind of person, still focusing on results would help you, because you ask your boss, what is my output? Okay, what are my objectives? What are my key results? Yeah. And these days, everyone has objectives and key results. Now, when you look at the output, then you ask yourself, okay, if I have to hand in a report on Friday, what progress am I making today? Have I contacted all the people that need to give me the input? When are they giving me the input? By close of business today, have I touched base with them? Do I have out the structure ready? Tomorrow, what am I going to do? You sort of track progress on the things that you should be doing. So as much as you're there, you make sure that you're filling up most of the time with productive things. Don't go for 2 how can you go for lunch for 2 hours unless it's a business lunch? Okay, otherwise you're wasting time. That is time you would have taken maybe watching a documentary, or reading a devotion, or praying, or doing all sorts of things. Okay, so that is something that you could do. All right, thanks so much for the questions, and I hope I've been of value in terms of helping you achieve extreme productivity by uncovering hidden procrastination. Please remember to attend the Velocity Experience Breakfast. The date is 27th March. 27th January, 27th January 2024, starting from 8 to 11. I'll be sharing a system to help you build momentum for personal productivity. The venue is Fairway Hotel and Spa. The fee is only 100,000 and for 100,000 you get a 3-course breakfast, you get a nice workbook, you get to experience live me coaching you straight one-on-one, you get a surprise, you get follow-up, all these things for just 100,000. So please go ahead and sign up. I'll see you then. This has been Suresh saying adios muchachos. Bye-bye. Thank you.